All right, Batman Arkham Trilogy is officially out on the Nintendo Switch, and this is interesting when it comes to this collection because I think that there's some awesome things that they've done. There's some really cool stuff with it, but there is a huge blunder that we have to talk about, and it's not just surface level what you've maybe already heard about Batman Arkham Knight. There's more to it than that, and we're going to break it down, plus much more for those that are new to the series, if you've came back to it like myself, and all of that. But before we get into it, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get the latest on Nintendo Switch JRPG content, live streams, and more. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the first game here. We're going to start off with Batman Arkham Asylum. Now this was originally released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 back on August 25th, 2009, and it's really good. It still holds up well. It's got a fantastic story centered around Joker springing a trap in the Arkham Asylum and bribing a key guard and all this cool stuff, intrigue. It's really well done. It's got fantastic voice acting, the UI, the presentation, the features. It all makes it feel really special, like a real Batman movie or authentic Batman experience. I love what they've done with the vibe and tone of the game, especially considering we hadn't seen this level of investment in a Batman game when it comes to the Xbox and PlayStation in quite some time at the time that it launched. So it really felt magical, and you can feel that energy that it had even a decade plus later at this point. Now, the graphics still hold up. It's quite impressive to look at it, especially considering other Nintendo Switch games. Now, the art and atmosphere almost seems timeless at this point, and I was really in awe and amazement considering just how old it was. This is a PS3, Xbox 360 game, but they've adapted Batman's look very well here. Now, let's talk about some of the boss battles. Not really anything to write home about, so don't go in expecting some type of incredible Batman boss battles, which it was criticized before in the past for that. Obviously, it's still the same thing here, but it's still impressive what they were able to do when it comes to the bosses and having the tone of everything. But I think you're gonna have some fun with it. Once again, no spoilers for those who somehow haven't played it at this point, because this is the first time ever that I think that we've gotten Arkham Asylum on a Nintendo platform. We've gotten Arkham City and Arkham Origins, but not Arkham Asylum from what I understand. The best thing that I can say about Batman Arkham Asylum, it's the gameplay. The gameplay is at the core and at the front of all of the Batman experiences, and the hand-to-hand CQC free flow combat system is the star, which many other games, even other superhero games like Spider-Man, have lifted and adapted to their own. This is really the first game that I remember playing that had this style of combat system, and the stealth actions, the stealth sections are fantastic and very well done. It creates a dynamic 1-2 punch with the overworld of exploration breaking in between that. So the flow and the pacing is just superb. I truly feel that this is the first Batman game to capture the real essence, the real emotion and feeling of Batman in the HD era or in the modern era, and really what it feels like to be the Batman. So I love that about the game all the way back when I played it in 2009, and I feel that it still holds up and it even still rings true to this day. Now, I do love the extra combat challenges and maps. It has it all here. Remember, you get all the DLC and everything, so everything is all here. You can use the Joker and other characters, go to different locations, do the stealth sections, have challenges there, have different high scores to beat. It's a lot of fun to just kind of beat stuff down and see how much your combo count can go up and how high you can rack up things and how long you can survive without getting hit. It's pretty cool what they've been able to do, and there's a lot of content packed into there for those who are looking for extra things to do outside of the main campaign, because there's no online multiplayer or anything like that. Now, all of the different gadgets that you have are really cool, and once again help really make you feel like Batman, like you're this crazy billionaire tech guy that can invest in all these cool things to be a superhero. hero with solving puzzles and backtracking and finding collectibles. It's just cool. It rounds out the experience with the stealth sections, with the combat sections, and it just feels good overall to really use all the different gadgets that you do have with the upgrading system in the game, which is awesome because anytime that you find a collectible or anytime that you solve a puzzle or anytime that you do combat, you get experience points. Then you can use those to upgrade the bat suit, upgrade your combos, upgrade everything. And I really like the UI and fonts and how they do it. It's very simple and easy to follow, but at the same time provides more depth for those who want to use it maybe even in a harder difficulty outside of the normal. But normal's not bad when it comes to the challenge. Now let's talk about performance here, because this is going to be a sticking point with one of the other games. But the performance and frame rate seems stable enough on the Nintendo Switch with Batman Arkham Asylum. Looks like it's 30 frames per second with some potential dips here and there, but nothing that felt too bad. And in enclosed locations, everything ran good from what I could play and tell. Now, once again, I don't have machines hooked up to say every single little frame and pacing or whatever the case is, but from my playthrough, from what I played, it seemed like everything was fine. Now, the draw distance seems about equal with other versions, and nothing seems too blurry with it. When it comes to textures, there are a few oddities here and there, but overall, I was pleased with the look of Batman Arkham Asylum. So I have to definitely still give it a recommendation and say it's a fantastic conversion or port of the game over to the Nintendo Switch. Now let's talk about the black sheep in this collection, and that is Batman Arkham Knight. Now, this should never happen with the Nintendo Switch. This shouldn't be a thing, and allow me to explain. The performance is just not up to snuff. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have already heard this, but if you're hearing it for the first time, this should never be a thing with how bad it turned out. Batman Arkham Knight is a fairly intensive Xbox One and PlayStation 4 game that didn't even run perfect on those systems with the Batmobile and the huge world and all the different effects and everything that they upgraded from the Xbox 360 and PS3 game. Now, getting it to run decently on the Nintendo Switch, considering the sheer scope and scale of the game, was going to be a tall task for any developer, and unfortunately, they weren't able to make a good version on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the visuals are a mixed bag, man. Like, you can see the resolution that's dynamic and it's adjusting all over the place. It's not subtle at all. I have no problem with dynamic resolution, but it's definitely adjusting. It gets blurry, then it gets kind of like okay, then it gets like blurry again depending on what's going on here and where you're at. The Batmobile parts just completely ruin the game. I mean, I already didn't like this game that much, even on Xbox and PlayStation. I played it on the Xbox One back when it came out, and obviously it ran way better than it runs here, and I didn't even like it that much. I didn't even beat the game. I didn't feel like beating the game, or at least I don't remember if I did or not. I loved Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, but this one just really wasn't for me, and the Batmobile is a huge focus on this game. You're going to be doing combat challenges, you're going to be driving around from place to place, you're going to be doing certain segments in the main story. There's all sorts of Batmobile stuff, and it runs terrible on the Nintendo Switch, almost unplayable, as you can clearly see with just the jankiness. The frame rate has to be like in the low 20s or something like that. I'm not really sure, maybe even lower. There's some hitching, glitching, and even stopping at some points. It's constant, it's choppy when it comes to the visuals and when it comes to just the playability, the smoothness of the game or lack thereof, man. I mean, it's just not great. And once again, it's impressive to give them some, I guess, a little bit of positivity. It's impressive they were able to get this massive scope and scale game, able to port it over. It's a huge title, and to be able to get that to be on the Nintendo Switch is impressive, but the results here just aren't quite good enough. Like, I get it that it's a massive game and the game is very demanding and it's Unreal Engine 3, which is not necessarily optimized the best on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, if it was an Unreal Engine 4 game, it'd probably be better, but it's just not. So it's just unfortunate that they decided to actually make the decision to put it over, because it's not worth it, but yet you're still charging, right, the full price when it comes down to it. So not great. Now, the hand-to-hand combat is just as good as ever. It still feels like the free-flow Batman combat system, but with the inconsistency of the frame rate in certain parts, it just makes the timing feel off, especially if you came off of playing Batman Arkham City on the Nintendo Switch. Let's just say you play these games in order and you go with Batman Arkham Asylum, then Batman Arkham City, and it gets better and better, and then you go to Batman Arkham Knight and it just doesn't feel as smooth, doesn't feel as good. It's just not quite there. So looking at it overall, it just feels off when you're doing the combat, when you're going through the city, when you're in the Batmobile. Nothing feels right with this game on the Nintendo Switch, at least. Now, the developers should have just ignored porting Batman Arkham Knight to the Switch. I mean, honestly, they should have just done that and probably bring over Batman Arkham Origins. This is a game that was on the Wii U. It would have been easier to port, and I think that fans would have really enjoyed Batman Arkham Origins on the Nintendo Switch more than bringing over a choppy version of Batman Arkham Knight. And many people feel that this is an underrated game. It didn't review as high as Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, but a lot of fans really loved the origin story and some of the scenarios and things that was in this game. And I think it would have been great if they brought that one over. Now, all the content from the Xbox and PlayStation version is here, so you can't say that there isn't the content with Batman Arkham Knight. And once again, impressive they were able to bring it all over. It's just not worth playing through, and it's not worth the money either, which unfortunately you can't buy these games separately as of right now. So if you're gonna buy this thing, you gotta buy all of them, and it's full price. It's $60, and this game just simply isn't worth it. But I'll tell you guys what is worth it in this collection to round out this video, and that's Batman Arkham City. This is still, in my opinion, the best superhero game, and it still plays like a dream. It feels fantastic to play. Seriously, I had to save the best for last. It's a masterpiece on the Nintendo Switch. It's a masterpiece on pretty much every system that you can play it on, but it also looks and runs the best as well in this whole collection. Visually speaking, it's even cleaner than Batman Arkham Asylum with better presentation and the UI. The port seems like it was pretty much perfect from Xbox 360 or Wii U or PS4 or wherever they brought it over from. I'm not really sure what was used as the base to bring it to Switch, but it doesn't matter because they did a phenomenal job with it. I'm very happy with what they've done with Batman Arkham City on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the gameplay is what makes Batman and what makes Arkham City still really good to this day, man. The combat holds up so well, and playing portable, goodness gracious, you are going to love the portable display, especially if you have an OLED. The fact that this game runs portably, you can play it on a Switch Lite or your regular Switch or your V2 Switch and take it anywhere, considering that it is a big game with lots of different puzzles and different stuff, and you might want to take a little break and play it on and off because of the amount of content in the game or some of the quick combat challenges you can get into. It's a perfect game for the Nintendo Switch OLED, and it pops and looks great when it comes to the city, despite it being overwhelming darker colors. But I think that because the Nintendo Switch has the OLED screen, if you have it at least, the blacks on there look really good. So it was awesome to really see this playing on a Nintendo Switch OLED screen. Now, Rocksteady was able to improve the free flow combat and add even more counters, animations, characters, locations to visit, better boss battles than Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, huge density full of collectibles, secrets, locations to visit. The pacing and the flow of this game is still superior. It's still really good. And one of the big things about all the games here, but really Batman Arkham City, it does a great job of not wasting your time. It gets you right into the story, right into the gameplay. You are already controlling your character, already doing things, and you're not sitting through cutscenes and waiting through different things as they tell the story through audio logs and tapes in different types of ways. So I've always loved the pacing and flow of Batman games, the Batman Arkham games, but especially with Batman Arkham City. Now, the game honestly just looks spectacular looking back, because even games made with the latest tech aren't better than Batman Arkham City. A lot of these new third-party games that are released on Switch can't really hold a candle to it in lots of respects, which tells you how good the technology, how good Rocksteady was at developing this game in particular over a decade ago. I think this game came out back in 2011 on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Now, since the Switch version does come with all the extra DLC and content, you get a plethora of goodies to see for longtime Batman fans, and even more exciting, all the characters and outfits are available in the challenge mode from the jump. I personally love doing this with Robin, as his outfit just looks sick, and the clank of his staff against the skulls of all the different henchmen in the different locations, it's just super cool and it's very fun. I used to play it a lot back in the day, and I'm playing it a lot here as well. But also Nightwing, Catwoman, Batman, they're all available and more. You also get the Harley Quinn expansion, which is cool. No spoilers here, but I don't think I actually beat that back in the day. I think I downloaded it and maybe played it for a little bit, but I'm not sure what happened. So it's going to be cool to revisit that as well. Overall, with Batman Arkham City, you're getting a superior experience. You're getting one of the best, if not the best, third-party game on the Nintendo Switch from a Western studio. You're getting great performance on the Nintendo Switch, looks good visually, and overall, I have to say that this game is absolutely worth playing when it comes down to it. But how about overall when it comes to the full experience of Batman Arkham Trilogy? So it's kind of hard to recommend this for $60 full price because it's just so much cheaper on other platforms and it runs better overall with every single game. Now, is there enough content in here to be worth $60? Or if you truly want portable play, is it worth that? Yes, I think so, because of Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Asylum. But that doesn't mean it should be $60, considering how bad the port of Batman Arkham Knight is on the Nintendo Switch. Now, if this collection was $30 or $40, I could recommend it a lot better. Or if you can simply just buy the games individually for 20 bucks a pop, that would have been good as well. But at 60, not so much overall, because that version of Batman Arkham Knight is busted just because of the Batmobile stuff and all that. Can't really recommend it. So I do recommend waiting for a price drop unless you just truly really want to play the games and you know that you're not going to play Batman Arkham Knight, or you know that the game is busted, then okay, go ahead and pick it up. But everyone else, just go ahead and wait for the price drop. But you are getting incredible titles with Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. So that's going to wrap it up for this video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch reviews and videos right here on screen. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.